Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about 9 o'clock on March 13th. And we got a soaker in progress. The rain started pretty much. We've been having light rain all day, but now this evening it's getting heavier. As you see on the map here, we've got a bunch of things in effect right now. Inland, we got a winter storm warning. Just inland, like to the northern and western suburbs of New York City and good part of Connecticut, winter weather advisory. And for the coast, coastal flood advisory is in effect. A wind advisory also in effect. We got a bunch of things in effect. A gale warning in effect. So, yeah, this is the storm that we're going to be dealing with, obviously. And you can see looking at the radar here, there's plenty of rain falling out there right now. You can see that. Some pretty heavy, steady rain. You notice, though, just to the west, man, if you're in New Jersey, man, you're not getting a rainy day at all. Just to the west there. You can see we're getting socked with all the rain here, so it doesn't look like New Jersey is going to get nearly as much rain as we are. The rate things are going here, at least unless you're right on the coast there. So yeah, it's just pouring out there. Let's look at another observation here, another radar site, and you'll see again, there's all that rain. You see reds. Those are some pretty heavy downpours there. You have to go way, way up there to get into any blue. Even Albany still has rain right now at the moment. So, yeah, you can see just if you're in New Jersey there, it's pretty much over the heavier rain part of it. If you're just inland, west of the Parkway, it's really the heavy rain seems to be over for the most part. But it's still going to be going for you in Connecticut. New York City is like right on the fringe of it. So it's New England, obviously, pouring there. Connecticut, Rhode Island, the Cape, oddly enough, again, in a little dry spot. So that's going to change greatly for them. Let's look at the latest satellite image here. We got the satellite image showing the lightning activity. And you can see lots of lightning activity in the center of this storm. Again, a sign of its strengthening. It's over those pretty warm waters, and it's going to start bombing out. That's a sign right there of a very rapidly intensifying coastal storm right there. So let's now go to our current weather conditions outside, and you'll see here, winds aren't too bad yet. See, we're all above freezing, dealing with pretty much temperatures in the low 40s pretty much everywhere. You can see you have to go very far north just to get below freezing. I mean, there's not a lot of cold air with this storm. And you can see here high wind warnings in effect for the coast here. It looks like we got high wind warnings in effect for the Cape, Boston as well. High wind warnings for our area. Again, for Long Island, it's our hazards are wind advisory, coastal flood advisory. I don't even think the wind advisory is for Nassau County. I think it's mainly for Suffolk. Yeah, we don't even have a wind advisory. I don't know why they left us out of that. So looking at the day at Islip, we'll see 43 degrees. You see those northeasterly winds, easterly to northeasterly winds there. Mainly northeast, actually. You'll see here rain, pretty much been raining for much of the day at Islip there. We'll look at the rainfall totals so far. Obviously, it's nothing terribly impressive, but we'll look at them. Let's go to... Actually, I don't need to do that. I keep doing that. I don't have to do that. We could go to... let's see, it's been raining for about 12 hours. So let's see how much rain we've gotten so far. And you'll see here, not that much in New Jersey at all. Maybe they're not even going to get an inch, I don't think. But for us, the rain's going to continue, and we're going to see a lot more. So you can see we're at between... almost approaching a half an inch, I would say. We're between a quarter of an inch and a half an inch of rain. And again, these numbers are bound to go way, way up because the rain is going to continue through the night tonight. So let's go to, I guess we'll go to the weather maps next. Weather Prediction Center. All right, so Weather Prediction Center, you'll see here's your storm. Again, this is, you got midsection of the country dry. Another big storm on the west coming in, and I can't even keep track of that. We got our own storm to deal with right now. Just crazy what's going on in California. That's all I got to say. But let's now go to the models. All right, so I'm just showing the eastern U.S. in this view because most of the attention's weather update is going to be about this storm here. This is the 18Z GFS model that's showing this storm. And you see it's going to rapidly deepen. So the rain continues till about sunrise tomorrow, the heaviest stuff, and then you can see it's got some snow over us, some light some snow. But the issue again is that the snow is falling during the day, and that's why I don't think it's going to accumulate all that much. And we'll see what the GFS is putting out as far as snowfall totals. But I think you have to be in those areas inland to get into that heavy snow. I'm more concerned about look at how tight these isobars are and the kind of winds we're going to see tomorrow. We're going to see some pretty strong winds. And then you can see it does that, takes it in just at the coast there, and then pushes it south. Does like this loop-de-loop, and then moves offshore by Wednesday. That's the GFS. Now I'm going to go in a little closer, and we'll look at some of the other models. Now this is the GFS again with the... Now, if we look at the total accumulated precip that the GFS is putting out, you'll see, again, it seems like it's now not wanting to give us giving us just shy of the 2 inches of liquid that some of the other models are doing. Let's see total snowfall on this. You can see it's just got very little. And again, it's just because of the temperatures, again, as I point out. But again, we are now in, I don't want to bother with these longer range models because we are in the short range model territory. So that means I want to look at some of the other models like the HRRR. I don't know. Yeah, this is the problem. We're earlier, so we don't have much of this model in yet. That's the problem with the HRRR. So we'll have to look at the NAM model from 18Z, and I'm going to use the higher resolution NAM on this. All right, so here's the NAM. You can see the rain continues tonight. Gets a little lighter by morning, and then we start seeing a little light snow throughout the day. Perhaps even some periods of moderate snow during the day tomorrow. But the problem, again, is the temperatures and the sun angle. It's going to have a hard time sticking with that. You can see, though, they're going to get absolutely pounded in inland with this. There's that low, again, really just explosive low there. It's just going to just, get captured by this upper level low right here and then just pushed. Look at this. I mean, it's just weird. It just does that, and it does another loop on Wednesday. So further away. So it's really unusual to see a low do this. This is the kind of thing that happened with Sandy. So this is why we have to be really careful. That's why I'm saying I'm concerned about the wind issue because of the rapid intensification of this storm for our area. The snow is going to be an issue inland, as I said yesterday. We can look at the NAM as far as the total snowfall accumulations. And you got to remember also, this is going to be such a heavy, wet snow. That's the other thing that, all right, you may say, oh, look, it's give us an inch or two. But you got to cut that in half because of that ratio. So assuming 10 to 1, which is going to be more like half that, like 5 or 6 to 1. Because, again, when we look at the same thing for these areas in the mountains, probably... you're still going to see, I think, a foot between 1 and 2 feet of snow in these mountainous areas, and it's going to be heavy, wet, and it's going to cause a lot of power outages because of the weighing down the trees because it's such a damaging snow. But for the power outage situation along the coast is going to be the wind, I think. Looking at the dew points, and this is the other factor here that we have to look at, is the dew points. The dew points are marginal, even up in the mountains. But for us, I mean, they're really marginal to get that temperature at the surface down to get that snow to stick, and that's why I'm not really calling. I think the only areas that are going to see an accumulating snow as far as at least an inch or more would be on the North Shore, perhaps on some of those higher elevated. For everybody else, maybe just a coating, if that, and it would mainly be on the grassy surfaces. All right. And this is the NAM. I'm using the NAM because it runs colder. So you can see here, the temperatures do drop. But again, now we're in the middle of the day with the sun angles. We're still above freezing at the surface. And that's going to be the problem for getting any snow to stick. And that's why I don't think the snow is going to stick too much here. And I'm actually more concerned about the wind. So we'll go to the total accumulated precip here and the rainfall here. And you'll see here, again, it's going to be close to 2 inches. You can see, though, much less when you go off to the west here. Much less. All right? In order for me to go and look at the wind, and, the other thing we can also do is look at FGen, which is the other sign that we another parameter we can use for snow. And you can see the best of that is, again, to our north and east. It's going to be over New England. It's not going to be over us. All right? So that's why I don't really think we're going to see a large amount of snow from this. Will New York City get enough to... It might get. It needs point 0.8. I think it's gonna. It might get point 0.5, or it might get. I mean, it's just. It's like we're splitting hairs here, basically. Of course, we'd all like to have at least a couple of inches, but it's gonna be hard to get it done because now if this was falling at night and those darker blues were over us at night, then I'd be definitely more encouraged to say, all right, we're gonna get a couple inches, but I just don't see it. The wind is a concern, so let's go to the winds next. And again, this model I think I don't like using this is because it really doesn't show you how bad the winds are going to be over the land. But you can see, look at how deep that storm is and the kind of winds you're going to be dealing with offshore. And you can see there's just tremendous amounts of wind here that we're going to get with this system. So let's go over to Ventusky, which does use the HRRR, which again, we don't have the full HRRR in, but we're going to use this and visualize the wind because that's where my main concern is with the wind. All right, so let's go ahead and go over to wind gusts. And this right now is nothing too bad, but as we go into tomorrow, this is when things get bad. All right, so you can see the winds are already gusting close to 50 over New England. And you can see here for us right now, it doesn't look too bad. All right, it's still mainly over New England because you can see this is sort of like where the zone is right here between the moisture air and the drier air. All right, but then as we get into noon, I think that's when we'll see the winds pick up. And then we're going to start seeing those gusts pick up into the 30 to 40 mile an hour range over our area. It seems like it's backed off on the worst winds for New England yet. But you can see, look at offshore. You got winds 79 miles an hour there in that red zone there. All right. And then this thing's going to back up. Here we are at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And you can see the wind starting to pick up. You can see, look at some of these wind gusts. So this is the HRRR. It takes it a little further to the west than some of the other models do. It takes it actually much further to the west. I don't think it's going to go this far west, personally. You can see for some reason it's got like a calmer wind zone over us, worse winds over. I think the wind advisory will do for us, but I think again these mountain areas and also along the coast. Again, this is the HRRR. I don't know. I know. Does it even have the NAM available? All right, let's got the GFS. Let's just go with the GFS because I don't think the HRRR is right. So you can see, again, some of those strong winds there that are going to be piling in there into... This is where there's going to be some really bad coastal flooding in New England. You can see that at the Cape as well. It seems like it's a little... All right, so this is 8 o'clock tomorrow on the GFS, all right? You can see the wind gusts, all right? So it doesn't seem as bad as what we were looking at before. The winds don't seem quite as bad as they were before. This is the GFS again. I could put this back to automatic if we want to go look at the HRRR, which I think, like I said, it's a little too far to the west. But again, the winds, we're going to have wind advisory criteria. Will we see 50 mile an hour gusts? I don't know, but I think there should be a wind advisory of the whole coastal area at this point. A high wind warning, obviously, for this area. And, of course, the other issue, of course, is the waves, the surf that we're going to see from this. And, again, if we look at this, we're using this here. You'll see me move this back to Tuesday here. You can see it's, again, New England is going to really be dealing with some like 10 to 20-foot waves coming in here. I mean, this is pretty crazy. For us, again, we have the west wind, so it's going to help to keep the worst of it offshore. But they'll still see big waves at the beach probably, but they just won't be driven in by the wind. And then you can see, though, here it looks pretty bad for the coastal flooding. So this is where, again, my concern is this coastal flooding situation for New England again. New England, this is going to be very bad for you. Luckily for us, it's further to the east. If it was in this spot, we'd be the ones getting pounded by this. But I think, like I said, I think we're going to avoid the worst of the wind and the coastal flood aspect of it as far as that goes. Let's go back to tidbits. All right, because we got a few more models to look at here. Obviously, don't have the new HRRR in, and you know, I mean, I right now I prefer kind of using the NAM at this point. I think the NAM will handle this the best. And again, as far as the snow goes tomorrow, the timing. I mean, we go back to the NAM here. This is the NAM 12 kilometer. All right, and you'll see here that the timing of it is the problem. the timing. It's right in the height of the day when the sun angle is. We have marginal temperatures. It's going to be hard to stick. You'll see snowflakes in the air, and it could be coming down. But it's going to have a hard time sticking to anything. And if whatever it does stick to would be grassy surfaces, car tops, roofs, and it's going to be hard to even do that. But at least will it be enough to give us an inch in most of Long Island? Probably not, but the North Shore could see that because they're higher up, and that'll help them accumulate that. But anyway, once the storm is out of here, and we might as well go over to the GFS next here. While this storm is out of here, you'll see even tomorrow, Wednesday night, it won't even drop below Tuesday night, it won't even drop below freezing. And then for Wednesday, we will have a day where we're going to be dealing with just blustery conditions. Temperatures ranging from around 40 on Long Island to maybe mid-40s in New Jersey, where they get a little more sun. And then once that, Tuesday, we're back warming up again. All right? Not going to go too much beyond that because we're focused on this storm and this weather update. Dew points and wind flow, obviously. You can see that northwest wind. It is dry air for Wednesday. So the other question is, well, we're going to see the sun on Wednesday. GFS says maybe a little bit. That's the GFS. And then, of course, by Thursday, boom, we got the cirrus rolling back in from the next system. But every model is different. So if we go to the NAM3 here, NAM3 says, yes, you might actually see the sun in the afternoon Wednesday, perhaps, especially Nassau County or western Suffolk, and especially New Jersey. That's what the NAM says. The RGM also says that we would also see the sun by the afternoon, especially, again, New Jersey. So it's possible we could have a nice day on Wednesday in the afternoon at least, because Thursday we're going to be dealing with more junk in the sky again. So as far as getting a nice clear sky goes, it's very hard, this pattern that we're in. Now, RGM, you can look at this model too as well for this. And I think, there's not a whole lot of there's some variation in the models now, but it's definitely gotten less. See, there's the low. But you can see here, this is the RGM for tomorrow. And see, it has mostly rain lingering over us. So for tomorrow. And then finally tapering off probably, maybe as a little light snow. So again, these temperatures are just going to be so marginal. It's just hard to even, the RGM total snowfall here gives us, might give us, it looks like on the North Shore, maybe it's got an inch, maybe. But this is, again, very, very little total accumulate precip. You can see it's got a heavier stuff out east. So it's going to be between 1.5 to 2 inches of liquid for Long Island, and the heaviest stuff, it's like the further east I think you go, I think that's where the heaviest stuff is going to wind up being, as far as the heavier rain goes. But again, we're going to watch these winds. We're going to watch this storm, and I'm going to have more updates for you on this. I'll have another one up for you later tonight. But that's going to be it for this one. Again, so just dealing with a rainy night tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully we can see some flakes, at least. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Take care.